In this video, I'm going to show you the creative process behind an editorial fashion film I made with Pia Cruz. Hello, I'm Gainsborough. I'm a fashion filmmaker and director of photography working in the creative landscape of fashion films, advertising, and in the pursuit of making feature films. I've decided to start this channel to provide a glimpse into my craft and to share the invaluable lessons I've learned in the world of creativity and business. I'm considering this to be my digital journal so that I can learn, grow, and develop myself as a filmmaker, as well as passing on the lessons that I've learned to the next wave of talent. So let's get into this breakdown of how I made this editorial fashion film. Pre-production. I wanted to make a film that had beautiful sweeping movements that explored architectural spaces and moved along with the model. The film was about walking and the movement to show off the power and the confidence in the clothing. I had a vision to use grey concrete backgrounds to make a graphic image where the clothing pops out from the screen. I got in touch with a very talented model, Pia Cruz, and asked her if she'd like to get involved in the concept. She was very down to come on board, which I was very excited about because she brings so much energy and passion to a project. She also brought on board a stylist that she loves to work with, so immediately we just had an amazing team. I researched and found locations that represented the image that I wanted to create. I wanted to find locations that had backgrounds that were simple in colour, striking and multi-layered, with interesting details and shapes, so that the clothing would stand out. I did a lot of research on Google Maps. I would find industrial spaces, I would drop down into the street view, and I would search for locations that I thought might work. Sometimes this can be an amazing and quick way to scout a location. However, this time I wasn't able to find anything that I was happy with, so I decided to do what I always think is the best way to find a good location. Going on long walks is one of my favourite ways to get creative. It's great for thinking, it's great for coming up with new concepts. After a good 2 hours, I found a perfect spot that had everything I wanted. It had big grey backgrounds, loads of concrete. Every way that you looked, there was something interesting to shoot. It was simple yet epic, so I took a bunch of photos on my phone and started mapping out what were going to be the shots, what were some nice compositions, and what would be some great movements in the space. When I got home, I immediately curated a shot list from the photos and sent them over to the stylist. She took on board the colours and shapes from each space, along with the tone and the concept of the film, and curated 3 amazing outfits with clothing from Jennlee, Junli, Gucci, Versace, and Prada. I reached out to a local camera assistant to ask for a bit of help with pulling the focus because there's going to be so much camera movement, model walking around. I just needed that extra bit of help. Now, let's talk about the shoot. It's shoot day and we've all arrived on location, and I find myself confronted with a storm of creative possibilities, both metaphorically and quite unexpectedly meteorologically. The weather was abysmal. It was cold, windy, and constantly just showering with rain. Fortunately, the main location I'd chosen had a massive concrete overpass, so we were able to shelter from the rain, but I have to give a big kudos to the team for digging deep, staying positive, and persevering through that weather. The capricious British weather graced upon us a storm that, rather than hindering us, bestowed upon our scene a soft ambient light that complemented the grey concrete tones of the scene. Armed with the DJI RS3 Pro, my intention was to create long sweeping camera movements that would lend a cinematic quality to the visual. One of the heroes of our team was undoubtedly the focus puller. Equipped with a wireless follow focus handset and monitor, we were able to achieve camera movements and model blocking that would have otherwise been impossible. In crafting close-ups and mid-shots that required a certain elevated level of drama, I turned to the 24mm DZO Vespid lens, which combined with the 35mm sensor of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, gives a slight amount of compression as well as a shallow depth of field that looks very photographic whilst also being wide enough for me to be able to pull off these long, smooth, sweeping movements. I used the Mirage variable ND filter to control the exposure whilst also allowing me to go for a 2.1 f-stop, giving me the shallowest depth of field possible. I used the Dream Effects diffusion filter to give it a soft glow effect, transforming our image from something sharp and digital to a quality slightly more reminiscent of analog film. For broader perspectives, the Loawa 12mm gave us epic wide shots whilst also keeping the lines of the architecture perfectly straight. Using this lens, close up but low angle, gives us such a sense of power and confidence that works so well with the outfits. Instead of getting location permissions, I decided just to flag it, as we're such a small crew and we weren't using any tripods, so I figured it would just be totally fine to just run and gun it. And seeing as it was an editorial shoot, I figured if there was any issues, we could move on and I would just improvise with the backgrounds and we'd figure it out. It would be totally fine. We did have a couple of security guards come up. They watched us for like 20 minutes and then they left. Once we'd covered the 3 locations and filmed all the outfits, we called it a wrap and ran off to the local bar to get warm, back up the footage and have a celebratory drink together. Everyone was super excited to see the final results. Post-production. The process of editing was quite easy and straightforward because a lot of the shots were so satisfying. The performance of Pia were absolutely fantastic, the outfits looked great, the locations were really striking. I was very happy with the graphic tones of the concrete, and the smooth camera movement through the space was so epic. I did the post-production process from end to end in Davinci Resolve. I absolutely love it. You can edit, you can grade, you can do special effects. It's banging. It's also got a free version of the software, so if there's anyone out there that's just starting out and you want to get into editing and grading, then you can do so much with just the free version. Once I'd finished the edit, I wanted to try out this power grade I'd seen online called Cineprint 16. I'd seen some pretty interesting results online that gave digital images a little hint towards 16mm film. The amalgamation of soft hues, the infusion of the halation, and the delicate diffusion effects were the brush strokes that painted the final look of the film, transcending the digital image and giving the film a nod to the timeless charm of analog cinema. So thanks for listening. If there's anything I missed, feel free to drop a question in the comments down below. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to see more of my work, you can head over to my website, which is www.joegainsborough.com, and you can also follow me on Instagram, which is @JoeGainsboroughPortfolio. The links are in the description below. Thank you and catch you next time.